But I was sheltered like from a young age from the world. Because my parents, I think, they're protective of their kids, not wanting them to be involved in wrong sort of stuff, bad sort of crowds, things like that. But my family had me sheltered, and by the time I got to 15, 16, I was probably in about year 9 at school year 8. And I started, getting to know more people, and just really didn't really have a faithful life towards God. I sort of wanted to be part of that crowd. I wanted to be someone, but all in the wrong ways. Not, showing any sort of faith towards God or anything like that. But eventually I started going to parties, drinking, smoking, things like that, and just really started doing the wrong sort of stuff that no one would do, and wanted to feel accepted by friends more than family, more than God, more than anyone. And I just somehow I got a real strong popularity with everyone around me, but just something was always missing, but I just never really knew what it was. By the time I was 17, I was at a nightclub one night, and I was at a nightclub and just got really beaten up. Got you name it, happened to me, except for being stabbed miraculously. But I was in hospital for about 10 days, something like that. Unconscious for about 3-4 days, I think it was, I'm not sure. But about 3-4 days, and my parents were just there by my bedside the whole time from what I've heard. And on the second or third day, they called up Pastor Adrian and Pastor Berenger to come pray for me. Even though I hadn't been walking with God, they kept their faith because they just wanted anything sort of to keep me alive, and they knew that only God would save me. And they came up to Pastor Adrian, Pastor Berenger, gave me buzz, and then one Sunday after church, Pastor Adrian walked up to the hospital. I was still unconscious and obviously didn't know what was going on. I hadn't moved a limb in my body for a period of time. Pastor Adrian came and prayed for me, and apparently I moved the top half of my body and started trying to pull the life support tubes out of my mouth. Obviously, I remember this because I wasn't awake, but that sort of spoke to me and said something that, from hearing this, that God is real, that no one else could do that, just miraculously. But anyway, I went, after 10 days I got out of hospital, got into rehab for about a month. Won't go into that in detail, that's a little boring. But got out of rehab, and first weekend I got out, I was actually hungry to go to church because my parents had just sort of been beating the word into me. A lot of Bible versions, but it was good. And I actually was listening and taking it in, and I was actually hungry to go to church for probably the first time in my life at that point. And came to church, and I remember my Pastor Adrian pointing me out because it was the first time I'd been to church in so long as well. And and it was an awesome feeling, to be honest with you. I've never felt so good in my life, and all that. And a week after that, I got out of rehab and was allowed to come home for good. But after that, I wasn't allowed to work for a year and all that sort of stuff, and my life got boring, started boring, and all that sort of stuff, and didn't know what to do with myself. But I eventually started getting some freedom. My parents started letting me out of their sight because I was standing on my own 2 feet again, and started once again going down the wrong path, except maybe this time probably a little worse than before. Eventually I was allowed to work though, and God blessed me with a job, I believe, to this day that I still have. And I started meeting the wrong types of friends in that job that were getting me into the wrong type of stuff, going back to the drinking, going back to the partying, going back to drugs, whatever you want to really say. I really just sort of was getting into that stuff, and yet again I started feeling empty and started thinking to myself, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Where am I going? I believe today that, that was God putting something in my heart, I didn't realise it then, but yeah, I started staying at home, and my mum kept nagging me the whole time. She'd been praying for me, all that sort of stuff, and I sort of knew about it, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. And then she kept nagging me to come to church, and I didn't really want to, so for the first month I never went to church, but eventually over time I was just like, yeah, I've got to go, just to please her at least. And I came, and then that's when I met, the youth and everyone here today, or most people here today. And since then, my life's really taken off in a positive direction, And today, I actually want to be someone, but I want to be someone for God. I don't want to be anyone who's, someone for good anymore. I realised that the emptiness inside me is not there anymore. It's just full of God. And that's the only thing that I was missing in my life in the past. And I believe that, God is the only way. Anyways, I've got a scripture that actually gave me this morning, so that's not a bad thing. There was 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 9. We are persecuted but not abandoned. We are hunted down but not destroyed. What that tells me, how that speaks to me is that some people may persecute me, might see that I'm going to church now in the world, and they'll be like, oh, but you've done all this sort of stuff, you've done all that sort of stuff back then, you're not a boy, or this or that, or whatever. But at the end of the day, God will never abandon me. I may not have realised it then, but I do now. And I was knocked down. I was literally knocked down. And the only person that really picked me up, or could pick me up from where I am, and put me where I am today, is actually